Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Ultras 11. I'm Joe.
And I'm Mel.
Today's episode, we got a lot to unpack for you guys. We had some drama that happened out in Spain. Definitely going to have to talk about that because obviously we love to point out imperfections in the sport because we like to bitch and complain about everything in life.
Fuck referees.
Yeah, exactly. 2 weeks ago, we talked about the Champions League. So this week, we're going to talk about the Europa League and who are our favorites to take home the most beautiful prize in the world.
Second most.
Third technically, fourth actually. But anyways.
Sure.
Yeah, you see, Al just made me lose my train of thought. Anyways.
Bogus claims. Continue, Joe.
Anyways, we also had a release of this new Champions League format that's going to involve 36 teams rather than the other 32. So we are definitely going to talk about that. And yeah, before we actually do that though, please take a moment, subscribe, like, follow us on all platforms. Easy enough. Ultras 11. You know, it's simple. You don't have to make a mountain out of a molehill like I usually do in life. But anyways, let's just jump right into everything here. Let's start things off with some controversy. Over the weekend, Real Madrid took on Valencia. Game ended as a stalemate, ended 2-2. Real Madrid came back from 2 goals down, whatever. But that wasn't the whole controversial part. The controversy actually happened at the end of the game in the 95th minute of added time. Brahim Diaz was taking the ball outside the box to just chip it in and whatever. And the ref decided he was going to blow the whistle the second it left his foot to when he made the cross. Jude Bellingham did head it in and whatever. Technically, they shouldn't have blown the whistle. But regardless, we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to see if it makes sense, if it doesn't, if it makes a difference. And yeah.
And we're just going to talk about it.
And we're going to talk about other mishaps that happened this weekend.
Fortunately for you guys are going to have to listen to our opinions about this now.
Yes, because it all ties in. We just like to tie stuff. Also, in saying that, we had a little bit of a controversial moment with a penalty shot in the Juve-Napoli game. Game was tied. Very controversial to call a pen at the 88th minute or something like that. Off of something that Mourinho, I hate to quote him and say he's right here, but is literally deemed a modern day foul because the referee was literally within 5 yards of him, didn't see anything wrong with the play, and then apparently it is a foul. Then we also had at the Milan-Lazio game, I think, what was it, 5 red cards in total for both teams?
3 red cards.
I'm saying for both
teams.
Yeah,
5.
I was going to say something like that. I could be wrong, but still, even if it's 3, an absurd amount of red cards. And yeah, so let's just kind of unpack this. Let's talk about it. Starting off with Real Madrid. We'll talk about Jude getting a red card for him complaining about everything and saying it's a fucking goal. Quote, word for word, that's what he said, not me. Is that deserving of a red card to even begin with? At the end of the game, when he's making his case, is that deserving of a red card?
No, not in. I mean, like, I get it. Players furious, but at the end, don't start going on a power trip and just throwing cards left, right, and center because the guy is not disrespecting you. He's not calling you a fucking loser or, telling him how to do his job or anything like that. He's just saying, guy, it's a fucking goal. The ball went in the net. Why would you blow it as the ball is midair going into their box? Why are you calling the game? It was a stupid fucking call, and he should expect that kind of reaction and not react because he's getting a reaction. That was all in the referee, and you saw throughout, not even just that game, like the games you spoke about, not so much the Juve one. We'll talk about that after, but with the Milan game, like, dude, that referee, it just went to show at that ending of the game, he had no control of the game. Yeah. That guy was he started getting all worked up and then just started throwing cards around and and now putting these teams in a position where, they're going to be missing, some key guys because of that. Why? Because, you just wanted to flex your dick and be like, oh, yeah, you know what? I don't like the way you're speaking to me. Red card, yellow card. Like, dude, relax over there. Why don't you learn how to call a game and stop making stupid mistakes? And you're not going to have this problem of people coming at your throat.
Well, it goes back to 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when we talked about this new rule. They're trying to implement the blue card, the sin bin, whatever.
Exactly.
If you see
imagine that was here.
That's what I mean. Imagine that was here in this point of time. To put 3 players off for 10 minutes at a time. That's 30 minutes you're playing with the man down in total, right? So, and all because there was some form of dissent, because you're frail and you don't want to be verbally. I'm not saying, okay, listen, I'm not saying verbally beat the shit out of everybody.
No,
I'm not saying that,
especially
but your
not a
job,
referee.
yeah, like your job as a referee or in sports in general, everyone will tell you this: you have to have thick skin.
Yeah.
You have to know you are going to be called some things. There's going to be some back and forth banter, whatever, between players. I'm not saying racial abuse is okay or anything like that. But I'm saying,
you know they're going to go back and forth. It happens in all sports.
Yeah, like as a referee, you already know you're going to have players yell at you and say, hey, you made the wrong fucking call.
Yeah.
What the fuck is your problem?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to start to be sensitive and turn around and say, all right, well, there's a red card.
Yeah.
You told me it was a fucking goal.
You know what? I don't know the way you're talking. You're getting a blue card. Sit out for 10 minutes.
You know what I mean? Like,
sorry.
Now you're going to see that. Like, that's going to be an abuse of power. You're already seeing an abuse of power with just a yellow card and a red card.
Imagine a blue card with them in their heads being, okay, you know what? It won't be as bad because if I get, I'm not giving them a red, so they don't have to completely leave the game, and now they're suspended next game. I just give them this now instead, just to kind of prove a point. And hey, they're going to be sitting out. They're going to be down a man for 10 minutes. Yeah. Oh, there goes another man for 10 minutes. Now they're down two men for 10 minutes. All this is going to do is make this worse. Like, I don't get how the league and the federation, everything, look at soccer right now. Look at the referees we have compared to what we used to have. Just one man, Colina. Just, you don't have to look at anybody else because there was a lot better referees. Colina was, at the time, he was one of the best, and he stuck out. Yeah. And you have nothing even close to what they had back then. And you want to start adding in another rule that to give them more power, they're just going to ruin games for no reason. Like just this weekend, that should have been enough evidence where they're like, okay, you know what, maybe we rethink the whole blue card thing. Maybe we kind of, put it on hold for now and kind of keep that, in the back right now and just kind of fix what's going on. No, let's add more to the fight. Let's keep going. Let's come on. Yeah. Well, it'll make it better. It'll fix it.
Going towards that fixing what we already have with VAR. I had a conversation with my dad actually after the Juve game, and we were talking about VAR and is it actually good? Is it actually bad? And we don't want to harp on VAR because I feel like we do mention that a lot in this podcast. But it's one of those things that it also goes back to this abuse of power in a certain regard. I'm a firm believer. Obviously, there's stuff a referee misses in real time, whether it's an offside, a certain handball, a foul earlier on, or like something like that. But for moments like that, for penalty shots like that, when you see it being given in real time that you are right there, no more than 5 yards away from the play, and you don't deem it a foul, why is it now becoming a foul? If I could understand, again, it's a counterattack, it maybe ways away. But when you're literally 5 yards away, you're looking at it and you see it and you're not making that call in real time, I'm sorry, VAR should not be intervening in regards to that either.
No, I agree.
Because then, obviously, when you slow it down, like really slow it down, and
you'll find something.
You stop the picture on the guy's foot is stepping on his foot. Yeah, it looks a lot worse. But then when you play it through and through,
in normal speed,
it literally just looks like his foot slides down his leg.
It doesn't even make
not even actually tripping him up or anything like that. But again, slowing it down, it looks like, oh, he stomped on his ankle. It's a red card. It's whatever. But that's the thing. Like, I don't even think he was booked for the tackle.
No.
So you're going to tell me you're giving away a penalty shot for a guy stomping on somebody's ankle, and there's zero card? It's just a penalty shot? No. That's a yellow card if you really truly do believe he stomped on it, right?
And those calls on the weekend you saw, ruined. And why are you adding more to it? In the Madrid game, you saw a referee that was fucking clueless, that you watch that video again. Like, I watched it so many times, and look at him. In that moment, they take a corner kick. Okay, he's looking at the ball, whatever. It gets brought out. It starts going to that side there. It makes that pass. You see him put the whistle in his mouth. He's getting ready to blow the game.
Yeah.
And then you see him just standing there, just looking. Like, in his head, he's like, "Killed, I'm gonna blow right now, but like, let me see what's happening right now."
That's the thing.
That kind of went in a dangerous position. Okay, let me call it out.
It's almost as if he stuttered himself and he made a mistake blowing the whistle. He's like, I got it right.
I'm sorry. In that moment, if I'm a referee, I'm not a professional. Don't have my license. Nothing. But if I'm a referee in that moment, I see that happening. That play, that guy starts going across. I'm making a decision that split second. I'm either calling it right there before he gets the corner,
I agree,
and a pass even gets put in, or I wait till that play. As soon as either the goalie grabs it or it gets kicked out right after, then I blow the whistle.
It would be
That's
like he heads it down.
Yeah.
Even if it goes for a corner kick, at
I'm
that
whistling.
point, I would turn around and say, no,
then
I'm
you
sorry,
can
guys,
yell
I
at me,
gave you your
hey,
chance.
whatever. You know what? Hey, I gave you your chance. I gave you the corner and another chance.
Mm-hmm.
You're done now. This is like, that's it. I'm sorry. You know what? You had other chances. Take them. No, he decided just to kind of wait it on. And then at the last second said, oh, okay, we're over the time and this is getting close now. Let me blow the whistle. Right there, man, that guy should lose his license or at least not be reffing for the next 3-4 years. Then in the Milan Lazio game, all game that guy had, you can tell that guy had no control of the game. And then it just blew up at the end. And you saw he didn't know what to do. And his only option was, okay, let me start carding people. And then hopefully that'll calm the situation down and people could fuck off. Mm-hmm. That made it worse. And then more cards came out and it just became a shit show and completely just like, man, now fucked over it, Lazio and Milan. So then that's another guy that he is actually going to be suspended and he's going to be out for a while.
Guido,
right? He's going to be out for a while now. So we won't be seeing him. That doesn't really help because they're all fucking shit. And then what pissed me off about the Juve Napoli, like we spoke about it before, I get it. You know, the foul, the guy hit it. Like you said, it slowed down. It looks a lot worse. Yeah. Normal time, the ref's not calling that. Why is VAR coming in? Why isn't VAR going in when a couple weeks ago, literally, and I'm not just saying this to harp on Inter, but there's literally, like, as soon as that foul happened, I went on Twitter. Within 5 minutes, I saw that picture. And already, it's the exact same foul Arturo made on Osimhen, and no foul, nothing. VAR didn't come in, nothing was called. It was clean. And he was higher up on the ankle. With Juve, the guy, okay, hit his foot, and then you saw, like he said, he just kind of slid down. Yeah. And that gets called, and that gets brought back, and then called as a penalty.
Yeah,
like, dude. It's the inconsistency, man. I'm not pissed because of what happened that, okay, whatever, ended up being a penalty. It's just that, how are you stopping and calling that when the referee was literally right there, didn't see it, but you're going to intervene, but then not do it with Inter.
See, and that's that right there. That alone is where the problem lies. Like I'll even reference Roma here, so you don't feel like an outcast just quoting Juve all the time. Dean Huijsen, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry, Dean. We're just going to call him Dean because I don't know how to say his last name at all. There's a random J there. Anyways, it was a penalty shot. I will 100% agree. There was a foul. He kicked behind the guy's foot when they both went for a volley. It was like a 50-50, but he literally just got the guy's foot. Now, I do agree it's a foul. Obviously, it's like Mourinho said in that moment, it's a modern day foul because it wasn't called right away. Mm-hmm. You had to see that on VAR. But in saying that, you then look earlier in the year, Roma against Milan, Pellegrini lifted his leg to control the ball. Simon Kjaer literally came and kicked behind his foot the exact way that Dean Huijsen did. That wasn't given as a pen, but Dean's was a pen. So like it goes back to that whole, like, obviously I'm not in disagreement that you're going to call a pen because that's an illegal contact, whatever. But if you're going to call that one, then why didn't you call it all the way at the beginning of the year? And then fast forward to this moment, you don't call Martinez's tackle, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever they played each other. Yeah. Fast forward, oh no, this is different. And if anything, this is worse because it's at the end of the game. Like there's an old saying that you don't make those kind of crazy decisions at the end of a game like that. Like it's literally known to man. You don't want to be a referee impacting the game that much.
Yeah, I get it if it's obvious, but like that was a game-changing moment.
But that's what I mean. Like
you had just scored. They were building off that adrenaline. They kind of, they were gonna push right for like that last-minute winner. And then something like that happens. Yeah. You just kill the whole game.
And it deflates the team. Like, even though, okay, we have 2 minutes of regular time and then another 5 or however much it was for added time. It still deflates the team, man. Like, you just think, we can't do anything else. We're done here. Like, and it's shit like that just pisses me off. And the Spanish referee, a former referee, Mateo Lajos, I don't know how to say his last name. I'm not going to try. Mateo. He spoke about the incident. He even said, like, this was the added time management in the second half was terrible because there was a serious injury. A guy, I think, tore his ACL or something like that. So lengthy stoppage right there. A penalty decision for VAR. Then the goal to make it 2-2. Substitution, stuff like that and whatever. And they didn't take that all into consideration. Substitutions alone, that's a 3-minute added time. Yeah. Then you're putting all that other stuff, 5 minutes. That doesn't sound right either. I agree. And then he also followed it up with saying that the ego of a senior referee like that is to blame. Yeah. And it goes to show if this guy is coming out and saying there's egos with these referees and senior referees, like it makes you think then too,
Mhm.
like what other calls were made based off of ego,
Mhm.
right? Like it's like now it's like just becoming a power trip that I'm gonna make this because you guys were yelling at me at one point.
Yeah.
You know, you weren't being respectful. So here, there's a fake pen.
Mm.
Here's like whatever, you know, and I don't know if it's you can't have referees refereeing for more than 7 years plus. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Maybe you need like they needed to just kind of like, every maybe 5 years do like a swap and just kind of, but then like you don't, like that's the thing. It's like, man, you need those experienced guys. Like you're
Yeah.
supposed to rely on them. But when we've talked about this, it's like, this is not the first time that it's been mentioned. We've spoke about egos.
Mhm.
We've said that a lot of these referees now, they have such an ego and they just like they're entitled to
Yeah.
something. And it's like, dude, fuck off and just do your job.
Yeah, just do it.
That's
Just
what
do
it is.
properly.
Do your job properly.
You're living in a life that you actually even have VAR. So if you do make a mistake and miss something or call
You
it
have
wrong
help.
offside or whatever, you literally could stop and say, "Wait, hold on,
Yeah.
Bella, is there
You're
a
not
problem?"
going to hear about it from fans for the next 5 years because you
Yeah.
fucked up and you didn't make a call, or you made a call that wasn't a call. Now you have the help, but no, they still want to have this power trip and just completely abuse everything that they have now.
Yeah,
And
it's
just
just
fuck over people.
it's just crazy
'cause they're
because I feel
mean.
like this year. Okay, we talked about it last year being bad, but this year's really just it's taking the cake. This is just embarrassing now, and yet FIFA wants to kind of withhold everybody and use them as their slaves to play more games and make them more money. But anyways, switching over, changing tactics over here. Trying to say tactics, I guess. So before we actually start talking about what's it called? Not the new format. We're gonna talk about the new format. But before we talk about Europa League and stuff like that, we're gonna talk about the new Champions League format that is introduced today. But since you're listening to this Monday, we're gonna
This week
it came out this week. So yeah, I'm just learning about it. I was a little bit busy during the day. Al doesn't do fucking anything. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
nothing.
Al works. Al works a lot. But he could explain it better than I can, definitely. And I'm sure you're tired of hearing my annoying voice. So
No, don't kid yourself. I do nothing. So that's why this is the reason why
Al has an office job. He's HR, so
Yeah.
he's always on the computer. You can
Yeah,
watch.
I got some time to.
You can watch
do
some crazy
do some
videos the whole
reading.
time. But yeah,
but,
Al, take it away.
But yeah, so kind of going over it quickly. So now this new Champions League format, not going to be group stages anymore. It's going to be just one basically big league of 36 teams instead of 32 teams from that it was in previous years. From that, each team will get 8 different opponents, 2 from each pot. So they're still going to have pot 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's still going to be split up based on that. Teams will be picked out from there. So you're still going to play your 4 home games, 4 away games.
Mhm.
And the good thing about this is that I personally like just kind of seeing it firsthand is they've kind of taken the idea of what the Super League was trying and putting it now forward. They're not taking away from the other leagues and making a whole new league, but they're making this competition as a league that, now we might be able to see, like, the first couple games, there's a Juve versus Liverpool, then Juve versus Valencia, and Juve versus Newcastle, and like it's gonna feel kind of like they're like it's a whole nother league. So now it's not just you got to win these games and just try to come top 2. You're playing like in a league, so you have to get as many points out of those 8 games that you're playing. You got to try to score as many goals because that could make the difference in the end. You can go through on goal differential because not everyone's going to be going through, and the way they kind of split it up now. So in the whole bracket, in the whole league, so the top 8 teams, like in other sports like hockey and basketball, everything, they're automatically through the next round. Okay. Then the teams in the middle from 9 to 24, they get a chance to make to the next round, but have to go through a knockout phase. So they get matched up against each other, and out of those teams, 8 of them will make it through to match up with the other 8 and go through to the round of 16. Okay. Then the last 25 to 36, they're knocked out. They don't drop down to any other competition. They're out of this competition. And it's the same with Europa League. Okay. With Conference League, instead of playing 8, having 8 different opponents, they have, I believe it's 6 different opponents. Okay. So theirs is a little bit different, but it's the same kind of thing. Same league standings, same kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So, and then from there, once those teams play the knockout round and they meet up with the other teams in the round of 16, then it's pretty much the same way it is now. So you're playing round of 16 throughout to the semifinal, 2 games, home and 1 leg each, home and away. and then the final, just one single game. Okay, so that's pretty much what the biggest change in the competition is the whole group stage part of it. And how you have a question?
I have a question.
Okay, you can wait.
Okay.
So the biggest change is the group stage part of it. Yeah, I'll take your question now.
Okay. So
Just wanted
those
you to wait
teams finishing in 19th, Jesus, in 9th to 24th place. There you go to that knockout round, like you said.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if you lose that knockout round, do you get dropped to Europa League or no?
No.
You lose, you're done. See you later.
You're done. You're out of the competition. Okay. So it's you don't make that top 8. You fall in that 924. That's your second chance to go through. Okay. So yeah, you're gonna try to fight to be top 8 of the table because everyone wants to go through the next round and not have to worry.
One less game.
But those guys in the middle still have that chance to match up against someone else in that's in that middle part and go through to that final round.
Okay. Yeah. And do you think this is better for Champions League, well, the sport in general, or do you think it's worse?
I do think it is better, man. Like we've said it in the past. You look at the competition, you compare it to like other sports. That's supposed to be like the big thing that everyone's like, oh my, it still is, but I feel like when we watch that competition now, it feels so like dead. It's so stale. I feel like what kept it alive for so long was Madrid and Barca and how much they dominated, but they also ruined it because now it just gotten so stale and it's like I feel like it needed that change, and that's why when you saw the Super League, that whole idea, everyone's like, oh my God, yeah. That's a good idea. That makes sense,
A lot of people were against it actually because of Gary Neville.
At the beginning, but you saw a lot of people come out after, and like a lot of people started getting more. Everyone at the beginning, it's ruining soccer, man. Buddy, there's a lot more things right now that are ruining soccer. This is your last worry, so don't worry about this. But I genuinely do think it is it's something that had to be done, and it will help out the competition. Now, do I think it's better than them going the route of going Europa League? I mean, Super League? No, just because I feel like the lineup is pretty much kind of the same idea of what the Super League wanted, but the thing that Super League gave that Champions League will not is the money that all those teams that are in it deserve. They were giving teams in the Super League guaranteed money every year for making it. Yeah. Plus, at the beginning, okay, whatever, the founding fathers, they would get a certain amount.
I hate that term.
But everybody else was getting, well, I think it was like 300 million each season to basically kind of help them, and so they could spend the transfer market and kind of make their team better.
And they would be free of FFP regulations.
Yeah, there none of that stuff there. They'd be making a shit ton of more money too on sponsors and stuff. They actually were going to have TV rights, that this was going to be on TV and not through a subscription service and all this stuff. But they didn't want that. They want to change. And hey, guys, you see, you're happy now, but they don't give a fuck about.
Keep the
UEFA doesn't give a fuck about helping the teams out and growing the sport. They just care about themselves.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest difference, I would say, in the thing. But doing this now, they kind of get more. Now they'll get people that maybe switch to the conference. Every competition except the Super League. The Super League side, they're getting them back now because this is same kind of format and same kind of idea of what Super League had, minus obviously like the whole money thing. So people will look at it, fans will look at it and be like, oh my God, it's so much better. This is so cool. Now it's like a league. This is crazy. This is I can't wait to watch this.
Yeah.
But certain teams are gonna be like, fuck that. We're still doing the Super League because that's gonna make us the money. Yeah. That's where we're gonna be making the money that we deserve.
Yeah.
So it was a good move by UEFA. Great time pushing it out now, especially now that things are probably in the next. I feel like in the next 2 years are going to start heating up with this Super League thing, and that's going to decide whether it actually becomes something or it just completely dies and just forever is an idea.
Well, so this is where I stand with it. If anybody cares,
I was about to ask you. Relax.
Kidding. Relax. Hey, man. Stop crying.
Relax. People care about what you think.
Anyways, sometimes. My thing is, I don't like the addition of the 4 extra teams. And I know everyone's saying it's just 4 teams, but I feel like it's kind of useless because it's like we already have a lot of those teams in Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League even that are kind of like, I get it, you're giving them a platform, these lower end teams and whatever. But at the same time, it's just kind of like you know, like you don't really hear of that underdog story quite anymore.
Yeah, but
You know, so you're gonna have a punching bag.
You're more, yeah, no, but
And
that's
now
not,
it's more.
it's that's right. It's more expanded. So, like you said, you get
Relax.
different teams. You get those teams that might not have made it into Champions League, and now
Yes,
we're gonna have a chance. It's the same reason why FIFA added more teams to the World Cup. So
Yeah,
teams like
yeah,
Italy
yeah.
can actually qualify for the World Cup, and they can go there and play a fucking game
Still don't qualify.
and not be a match. Oh, dude, no.
I'm
If
kidding,
that
they're gonna
happens,
qualify.
poof.
But no, like there's that I think about. Overall competition I think does increase because, like, again, the problem with the group stage thing is you have one group of death that it's like, yo, this is all evenly matched. You don't know who's gonna finish first, who's gonna finish second, and who drops down to Europa League, like whatever.
Mhm.
Whereas this is like kind of open ended in a regard,
Mhm.
where it's like, since you're not playing the same teams twice and it's a group and whatever, you have to literally just every game's competitive essentially because the other 8 teams could all be winning games. You know what I mean? So like I think in that regard, every game matters that much more. Unless obviously you secure a top spot. Like I get that. There's obviously going to be that, but it's just more difficult competition wise. In that regard, because again, it's not a group. You're not worrying about only 2 other teams or 3 other teams. Sorry, it's now 36 teams you have to worry. 35 teams you have to. Yeah. 35 teams you have to worry about them doing their best too because it's a league format. I do also like how they fucking got rid of that whole dropping down to Europa League. Europa League drops down to Conference League because I'm sorry, those 2 competitions were abnormally large and it sucks ass knowing like, oh, we're the favorite to win the Europa League or Conference League. But wait,
Barcelona's and now they're dropping down.
Yeah, you know, like I think that's the stupidest thing in my like it's a second chance at fucking up or silverware, you know, like and you shouldn't get that. You should have a do or die type of thing, and that's why I like that idea that it's like, oh, you lost and you're out. Okay, you're out. See you later. No more Europe until next year, maybe. Obviously, like whatever. In regards to Super League, I still think the Super League is way better. To be honest with you, just because you already know UEFA is going to monetize the absolute shit out of this. And these teams will not be compensated well enough. Like obviously certain teams will because they have better distribution rights and stuff like that. But it's not going to help out other teams. I think this will also screw up teams that have not so much depth or financial backup to have depth, you know, because again, every game then becomes a competitive game. It's not like, oh, we're comfortably in 8th place or in a top spot type of thing. Let's rest our key guys because we have a game in 3 days. No, now it's like, it's more full throttle. Whereas the Super League allowed for that because it's like, oh, you don't get relegated per se, but like, you know, you do have to stay somewhat relevant in a sense, you know, and you are getting financially compensated way better. And that's a huge incentive, you know, like even if one year we couldn't do that well in said Super League, it's not the end of the world like it is for Champions League. Because let's get real. You're not in Champions League. Chances are your team is in financial fair play restrictions. That's just the reality of it all. Whereas Super League, they wouldn't be working under those parameters. So it's like, hey, no, here's your money. You could fuck it up if you want to, but don't worry. There's no there's no breaching of squad limits or this or that, whatever. It's, hey, you lost. Okay, cheers. You're out. Thanks though. Like, and you know, that's where I think Super League has it better than Champions League. You know, like I feel like these restrictions, and I get it, you don't want teams to go bankrupt and fold and this and that, but I just think it's way too much of a headache, and this whole financial fair play thing, it just doesn't work for everybody, and that's why I think Super League has that upper hand. So I think this new format is 75% bogus.
So do you like the new format compared to what it was?
I like it competition wise, obviously, but that's as much as I will go and tell you. The rest, I think, is complete bullshit, and I think it's just them greasing their pockets
I'm genuinely asking. Like, I'm not taking cheap shots. I'm not, do none of that. I genuinely I honestly thought you would be against it or like weren't too fond of it, just because like for a team like Roma, okay, it's going to be tough for them to make that top 8. Realistically,
yeah. Well, okay. First off,
You think of, but I'm saying you think of
Roma's done it 10 consecutive seasons that we've been in a Champions League. That we made it to the next round.
Yeah, but Joe, that was in a 4-team group stage.
No, I know.
Where
what you mean.
like you said, you're only worrying about 3 other teams.
Yeah, because that's the thing now. Like you have to think because there's 36 teams in one giant league, right? And you're playing against 4 teams still.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No, 8. You're playing 8 teams.
8 teams. Sorry. Why did I
teams.
say 4? Playing them twice.
4 pots, 8 teams.
4 pots,
You're
8 teams.
8 teams.
Yes. Once. 4 home, 4 away.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's.
I don't.
But that's the thing. I think this benefits. Like I said, it benefits UEFA greasing their pockets for entertainment value in regards to competition and stuff like that. But teams like Roma fall down the wayside unless obviously we are able to pick it up in any way, shape, or form. Teams like Bologna, if they make Europa Champions League this year, they're gonna fall down the way. There's no way they survive that,
especially if they lose their core.
Especially and like that's the thing. I feel like I could literally name at the top of my head already 6 teams that are guaranteed every year.
Name. I was excited in my head. You can name 8 teams that.
But I mean, I'm saying 6 because maybe hypothetically, like a team like Atletico is inconsistent, or like Bayern. We saw it this year; they're not having the best year. What if they were to lose a couple games? You know what I mean? Like, there's always that, but that's the thing. Now that the stakes are higher, those teams are going to bring more energy and more of a focus and emphasis on this. So you're going to then see Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Inter, if Juve could fucking smarten up, them always going through, Bayern Munich always going through. Then that's not even counting the English teams.
They got Liverpool,
you got City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, United. That's already 6 teams right there. And those teams are way better than 75% of the teams in the world. You know what I mean? Then there's PSG. I don't know. This is just benefiting, again, the already rich bastards out there. That's why I'm not that's why I said 75% of me hates this. 25% of me likes it. And that's going to be me as a spectator watching the games and saying, you're starting your best 11 for just a regular Champions League game. I like that. I respect it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's honestly it, though. Yeah.
All right. Well, I generally I started thinking about that as you were talking. I was like, wait, but not even disrespect. I feel if I'm a Roma fan, I would look at this competition and be like, yeah, dude, we're fucked. We're not gonna make top 8, and then to make it between 9 to 24, okay, yeah, we might squeeze in there and get into there. But then what? Then we got to match up against somebody else and then hope that we can beat them to make it to the round of 16.
That's the thing. Roma's best bet, given whatever, would be us finishing from the 9th to 24th spot. But do we even have the depth then to play those extra 2 games? No, we don't.
No,
we really don't.
Simple answer: no.
We have a starting 11, and that's it.
And De Rossi.
Whatever. Switching over, I think we got a little crazy with that.
Talking about the segment that De Rossi is going to be winning.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
Europa.
No, they have some weird song. He was like,
Europa.
It's like those big blue blocks from Super Mario. So Europa League, they finally made it through the round of 1,000 teams or whatever, because there's always a shit ton of teams dropping, doing this, whatever.
Love looking at the names of those teams. Though.
Yeah, there's some Karabag. It's like, whoa, okay.
Bodo Glimt.
Hey, that's an almost arch rival. That's like our European Spezia. We cannot beat those fucking asshats.
No matter what year it is.
Fuck, man.
Can't beat them.
Yeah, so we're at the round of 16. You've seen some heavy hitters drop down into the Europa League, like we mentioned before. And in general, there was always heavy hitters. It's probably, I would say, one of the most competitive Europa Leagues in a while.
Oh yeah,
I would say maybe last year too was up there.
No, last year didn't have the teams that it had.
No, but it was still because they had Barcelona there, whatever.
But yeah, but it was only maybe 4 teams that were good compared to now you look at this list and it's a good chunk of players.
This list you got Brighton, Roma, Liverpool, Milan, Leverkusen, Benfica, West Ham, Atalanta, Marseille, and there's still other known teams, but we're not gonna say all 16 at that point. But you know what I mean,
Bodo Glimt.
No, they're in conference. So we don't know. Actually, I think they play Atalanta.
Nice. Wait, in Europa League.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think. I don't know. I have to look at it.
Go
again,
check
to
that
be honest
after.
with you. I was just looking at Alma's results. I have to play that fucking spiky haired Italian man. But yeah. So we'll start off. I'm not asking you this, Al. Obviously because you have more of a Champions League background than my team. Do you think it's fair that the third place team? Well, now it's not going to happen anymore. So I feel like this question just goes to shit.
No,
But it's
I
still
mean,
happening this year.
It's still happening, and it's been happening.
Yeah. So, do you think it's fair that a third place team in Champions League drops down to Europa League, and obviously third place team in Europa League drops
goes
to Conference League,
goes
whatever?
to Conference League. No, I've always when we talked about this we haven't really talked about this here like on the podcast, but other times we've spoken about it or I've talked with other people. I always say how stupid that idea is.
Mhm.
Why are you why do they get another chance? Yeah, okay, yeah, you came third place in Champions League. Sorry, you didn't make top two.
Yeah, like,
you're
not
out
good
now.
enough.
Go home. Why are you now? You're going to another competition that's lower than the competition you were in. So you made that one there. So that means you're good enough to make it, but now you're dropping to this one where those not so good teams or teams that can't make that are in this competition, and you're joining that with already now. You're one of the favorites.
Mhm.
You're just getting there.
Yeah.
Like for me, I always thought leave the Europa League the way it is, Conference League the way it is, Champions League that. If you get kicked out, no chance.
Yeah.
Third or fourth, you go home. First, second, you move through. That's it. I never liked the idea of that, and I never understood why do they get why do they get another chance? Like, why is that a good thing? You shouldn't be trying to play for you know what? We're not going to get up there. Let's try to get to third. At least we can go to Europa League still. No, try to get top two.
I agree.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah, it's true. It's a second shot at redemption. Doesn't make sense. You don't get
in a competition with less quality, and you have a good chance of winning as long as you know.
Who dropped out of Champions League? Wasn't it Liverpool? I think
Liverpool. No, I think they were.
Milan did for sure.
Milan did for sure. Benfica did.
Benfica, who
was Brighton was in Europa League already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 99% sure. No, they were. You know what? I just remembered. Yeah, I remembered because from EAFC, I think it was Luis Diaz got a card. Yes, and it was a Europa League card. So okay, but you still have these teams coming down.
Still fuck Milan.
Yeah, obviously. Because, dude, who do they think they are? They're not good
and
enough
Benfica,
for the competition they made, and now they want to come to this
dude,
lesser competition and think that they're the god.
They'll probably win it though.
Yeah, but the thing, fuck them. Like, that's so stupid.
I agree. No,
how like that.
Your second
and
shot,
then you get Conference League, which is even worse competition. And that show, like, dude, okay, Roma didn't make Europa League, but like Roma Roma's a Champions League team.
Oh,
Roma's a Champions League team for the most part. Okay.
Thanks.
Now they're in, now they're trying to figure this out. They're getting into Europa League, which, my opinion, they should have no problem getting to at least the semifinal. I'll say final. Now there's a lot of there's a lot of good teams, but they should make to the semifinal in this competition, in like a Europa League. Conference, in Europa League. Conference League, you saw how Roma dominated that.
Yeah.
How does it make it fair that a team like, let's say, like Leverkusen, look how hot they are this year. They're in Europa League. They came third place, let's just say. Now they're in Conference League. Dude, they're going to dick down every team that's over there.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Throughout Champions League, Europa League thing, I thank God they're taking it out so we don't have to worry about it or talk about this. But I just wanted to just talk about it on here because the fact that it's still here and it was ever in here, it's the stupidest fucking thing.
So who is your top 3 teams? Just like we do with Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about our 3 teams that we think could lift the trophy at the end of it all.
I mean, I don't think it would be anyone out of the, some of the teams that you named over here. I think for sure in that list, you got to have Liverpool. I feel like no matter, how good they are, how, young their team is and whatever it is, you can't count them out, especially when Klopp's there. They're always good. They're always going to be a threat. You can't count them out. I think Liverpool, that's my number 1 right there. My second team that I think, and this solely goes based on if one man shows up and they can't be fucking around and playing like those stupid games that they have been this season, is Milan. If Leao shows up and Milan is playing the way Milan has played, and I've seen them play it this season. Not every game, but I've seen them. I've seen that Milan come out. If they play like that, they can be a serious threat.
Oh yeah,
in Europa
10
League.
out of 10.
they can definitely make that push. And then the last team, see, I would say Roma as my top 3. I genuinely would, and I'm not saying that to gas you up or anything.
No, I know though it isn't.
But the
'Cause
team
of
that I
Mourinho.
genuinely think is Leverkusen. I think Leverkusen, and it's not even a surprise anymore, man. You see what they're doing in the league. What Xabi's doing there, he's like a like if to put it in terms, like Thiago Motta is like Walmart, and he's like the Gucci of like this like modern coach.
Yeah.
Like he is just proving everything right now, and like my hat goes off to him, and he's been phenomenal. And I really think we could see that Leverkusen actually winning the Europa League. Now, the team I would have to say that is my dark horse, and I could also see them winning, but wouldn't really be expected, is Roma.
Yes, yeah.
I
would.
I've seen them in the competition. I know the way Roma plays. We joke about it, we laugh about it, whatever. I still think as an Italian team, they will. I think they can put away Brighton no problem. I don't think even with De Zerbi, I genuinely think Italian teams match up well against English, and I think it's not going to be an easy game. It'll be a tough one, but I genuinely think Roma can get past Brighton, with no big issues. After that, it'll all come down to whoever they match up, and it's always in this competition, man. If Roma get lucky, and after the next round, they get let's say, I don't even know, Rangers, or if Rangers beat Benfica, or even at Benfica, because they don't look too strong now. Like Roma can take a lot of these teams. It's what I don't want to see is Roma next round after this, if they make it, as long as they beat Brighton, match up against like a Liverpool. Can they match up against an Italian team yet?
I think so. Yes.
I think in the quarterfinal they can. So like, I don't want to see them. I can see you guys matching and beating Atalanta. I don't know about Milan. That one would be tough. If they did, that'd be fucking. I'd throw on my Roma jersey and celebrate with you. But like that one would be a tough ask for them.
Yeah, I don't see. Like obviously my hopeless romantic comes out a little bit, and it's like, it's my team, man. We always overcome every odd.
Yeah, what was your top 3?
But my top 3, I think in first, I'm gonna honestly look at you, and it's not. I think it's bold, but I don't think it's that bold. I'm gonna go with Leverkusen. Just given form alone, given how many weapons they have, like their right back has 10 goals and 10 assists this year. That's a right back, guys. Not an attack. Okay, yes, he's attacking. He's a wing back, whatever it is. But that's not that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
10 assists, okay, yeah, swings and crosses here and there. Maybe he's just a piece taker, whatever it is. But 10 goals too.
Yeah.
And they're just so well built. They're so well like motivated. Like it's just oiled, not motivated. What the hell? They are motivated, obviously, but they're well drilled in their tactic, their formation. They haven't lost all year. Okay, I think they tied obviously a couple games here and there, and like. Other than that, like, okay, yes, I could look at you and say Roma was the team that beat them last, technically speaking. But it's a different year. It's a new Leverkusen. They got rid of Diaby, but they ended up replacing with Tella. And like it's simple things like that. And Xabi's really getting the best out of every player. He's even a guy like Granit Xhaka, who was kind of written off by Arsenal. And they said, oh yeah, he's old, he's washed up, he's slow, he's this and that. That guy's literally a midfield general dictating the tempo of play, and he's moving like a man that's possessed, So I think for me, Leverkusen's number 1. They come up against Karabag too. I don't even know where Karabag is from. Sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I don't know where you guys are from. So I think they easily get the best of them the first leg, and then they could just chill out the second leg too. Then second after that, I'm going to go with, like you said, I'm going to put Milan there because, again, Milan hasn't looked impressive. They haven't looked anything crazy, but they have Rafael Leao. And that man alone is a one-man army, and I don't care what anybody says. I will still say it. I think he has the potential to be the best player in the world if he just remained a little bit more consistent and put his head down and worked a little bit more, just a little bit.
Just put a little bit more effort.
Yeah, just a little, literally a little, because I've literally watched this man get the ball in his own half and run through an entire team. And I'm not being dramatic either. I'll pull it up. It was last year against Napoli, who won the league. He just decided, why are we even tied against them? He got the ball, burnt through their winger, burnt through the center mid. Megs Di Lorenzo goes on a break, puts it in, and he just smiles.
He's like, guys, hold my dick. Let me just do this quick.
He has that potential in him. And Di Lorenzo, not because of our Italian bias that people might think we have, Di Lorenzo is a top right back in the world. You know, like I would easily say like top 5 to 7, you know? And he just made him look like nothing, like mincemeat.
Yeah.
Like that's Leao's ability, and you don't know what to get from him. So I'm saying they're second. Third place, I'm a little indifferent. I want to say Liverpool or Benfica. Liverpool because it's Liverpool.
Benfica's been playing bad. Not even like Euro, like not even in European competitions.
But Benfica comes up against Rangers. Should be an easier task for them. Gives them the confidence that they could push through. They still have a decent enough team on paper that they're able to push. Yeah. Only reason why I'm saying Liverpool and Benfica like are equals in my head right now is because Liverpool has an injury crisis.
Yeah.
And a very bad injury crisis. Backup goalie, no Salah. Nunes is like spotty with injuries. Their midfield is unrecognizable with the names they're fielding. Like obviously, hey, kudos to you, Klopp, that you're maintaining like everything and you're keeping your head on a swivel and all these kids are loving life under you. But reality is that enough to win a Europa League?
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I'm thinking of is that like those youngsters, are they good enough to carry that torch? I don't know. I hope not because my team's in the league. But yeah, I think that's my top 3.
And who's your dark horse?
It's Roma. Roma's my dark horse because again, you never know what you're gonna get under a new coach. If we get through Brighton, that's obviously like I think that is the most even matchup you could see on this list.
Yeah.
Obviously, besides Atalanta, Sporting, and Villarreal, Marseille, I think Brighton and Roma is the most even matchup.
Yeah.
Especially because Brighton has an Italian coach that coached in Italy for quite some time, and
knows how Italian teams play.
And the worst part is Roma's coach and Brighton's coach are actually really good friends. Their daughters are best friends. Like you're telling me they haven't talked tactics over coffees?
It's more than just a match.
Like that's the thing. So like that is probably the most evenly matched game you could go up against. I'm not scared of fucking Lewis Dunk though.
I'm genuinely excited about that game. I'm excited about that game, and I want to watch the Sporting Atalanta.
I want to see. I definitely want to see Sporting Atalanta
one,
because
Atalanta Sporting's a team that they give trouble, especially in Europe. They're a good team, but Atalanta this year, man, they're looking like that old Atalanta that we all once knew and once feared, and that can go either way. I can't even. If I had to put money on it, I wouldn't even touch that match.
Yeah, that game's a tricky game, man. The Sporting's moving different.
Yeah.
They have one of, if not the best striker in Europe right now in Yorkes. Like, it's tough, man.
They got a great coach.
Yeah,
they got a good.
That's one of those games that one of two things will happen. Either it's going to be a goal frenzy, given how both styles are played,
or tight.
Or it's gonna be like a shitty 1-0, 0-0 game. Like something like there's no in between that.
Both legs, one leg 0-0, one leg 1-0.
Yeah, like it's gonna be weird that game, and probably the most entertaining out of the whole thing. Well, besides Roma and Brighton,
the one though that I think I'll touch and I will put money on. I think the Benfica Rangers. I think Benfica's at a point where they're a little bit vulnerable and they're not that good. The Rangers can see that and capitalize.
That's a bold move, Cotton. I won't lie to you.
I think I might do it on Thursday. You might see my parlay come in.
That's a really bold move.
Roma,
I don't know if
Milan,
and
the Rangers.
Don't bet on my team.
I'm betting on your team.
Don't bet on my team.
I'm betting on my team.
Actually,
everyone fucking bets on my team and they lose. So fuck you. I'm betting on your team.
I never bet. Actually, the one time I did bet on your team, we won.
Remember that 1 week I told you not to bet and they lost?
Yeah, that's true.
You did bet on them?
So twice. I'm 50-50.
Yeah. So
you know who I was bet on and they win for me? Chelsea. Every time I've bet a positive result for Chelsea, they've won.
I'm way too scared to bet Chelsea.
I predict the most with them. I predict the most weirdest things that I'll even predict the goal scorer, and I start dying of laughter and saying, "I said that he's gonna score."
No, my bets are the
most. I called the Gallagher brace.
I put together the most random bets this weekend, I think, and I put 4 bets in. I think I won one of them.
I lost all my bets I placed this weekend. It's okay. It's okay. We
And the
moved.
the awkward one that I won was the United match.
I bet Scott McSauce to score.
I put City to win, Haaland to score, Rashford to score.
Yeah,
I got it.
I put City to win.
That was
I put Phil Foden to score. So I got that.
Should have put Brace, man.
Over like 6 or 7 corners, something like that. Got that.
Yeah.
And then I put Scott McSauce to score too. Why did I? Because he's so clutch.
No, but not in those games, man.
My theory was this: City gets like an early lead of 2 goals or something like obnoxious, like whatever.
And then Scott just comes in
And then Scott just comes in and says, "Wait, I am Kenny Dalglish," and he scores even just a goal because I predicted the result to be City, just a goal from
you just
Scott
need a goal
McSauce.
from him. No, but he's not that guy, man. He's more,
He's that guy.
he comes in against like they're losing against like a Brighton or something, and then he comes in and scores a brace.
He's that guy.
No, not against City.
You don't get the nickname Scott McSauce because you're not him.
It's because he used to like McDonald's sauce.
No, he is him.
No, he's a dude. He's a fat loser. He's not him.
I don't know why I always giggle whenever Al calls people fat and losers. Like that combination of things are like
because he's
like
a fat loser.
Fat loser, fat idiot. I always giggle. I don't know why.
Are we doing a team this week?
I didn't think of any team.
Okay, maybe
unless we do it quickly on the spot right now in the next 8 seconds.
Do you want to? Hey, you want to do one with the top Europa League teams?
Oh yeah, okay, fine.
We've been talking about that for the last 20 minutes.
How many teams are that? 6? I was gonna say how many teams are 16.
The teams are all right there.
Yes, but we could only name up to 2 players from each team because let's get real. I don't know anybody from
Karabag or Slavia
or the Slavia or the Pragues.
Yeah.
Are they both Pragues?
I think so.
I think so. I don't know anyone from there, so like that's why we're gonna do 2.
Okay, 2 per team. Two per team.
Pick number 3, my lord.
Hey, 2 per team. 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
Because it's shocking, dude. This is a shocking thing.
Shocker, man.
Okay, so
you want to start it off in net? You want me to go?
No. Let me start off in net because this is my favorite goalie in the world right now.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I could probably go with Allison, but I don't want to use Liverpool because they're nerds. I'm gonna go with Atalanta goalie because I love him. Carnesecchi. I love his hair. I would love.
I'm hoping Juve signs him too. So I mean, I like. Hey, Joe. I say I hope
have
so.
any from.
I'm not saying we are. I'm saying I hope so.
Formation.
4-3-3.
Okay, so goalie, Carnesecchi.
Okay. I'll start with left back. I'll go Theo Hernandez.
Oh shit, that's right. Milan's.
What?
I was about to say, wait, are we doing a Serie A team? What's like? Why did you say Theo?
What is happening right now?
So confused there. Okay. I'm gonna go with Antonio Silva.
Okay.
Benfica legend. I have to think about that for a second. I'm like, wait, is he on Sporting or Benfica?
I'll go with.
Choose a guy from Sport.
No, dude. I'll go with Italian legend, Big Ange Ogbonna.
Ooh, that's kind of gangster.
Yeah.
That's actually gangster.
Fuck Verge.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
was literally thinking, I'm like, do I just go the easy like with Verge? Then I saw West Ham and I was like, oof, dude. Ogbonna, baby.
Yeah, no, fuck Verge. I agree with that. I would have said like Konate.
Yeah, and Zuma too. Fuck him because he kicks cats.
Yeah, that's he should be suspended. It's actually fuck he kicked.
Fajoli gets suspended for putting a couple bets in, but this guy kicks a cat. Nothing.
Jolie just needed a parlay to hit, and then he would have never bet again. Poor thing.
He was one win away from winning it all.
Fucking losers. Okay. Right back. I'm gonna go with. You know what I'm thinking.
No, don't.
You know what I'm thinking.
Don't.
Nah, I'm not gonna go with him though. I'm gonna go with his Dutch compatriot, Jeremiah Frimpong.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was gonna say Rick Karsdorp because it's my guy.
I know you were.
I know
you were. I know exactly
That's
what you
one
were
of my
gonna
favorite
do.
players. Why? I don't know. I just love him every time. He could do no wrong, but he could do everything wrong. And I'll still look at him like, Rick.
My boy Rick.
I just love him. Okay? 3 center mids.
Okay,
This is so easy for me.
3 center mids.
Boven Pellegrini.
No.
You already know one of
I'll
them.
leave. Yeah, I'll leave that one. I'll leave the one for you. I'll do. You know what? Just to bring a little some vibes to the team, and now cancel out this team. I'm gonna bring on Lucas Paqueta.
Oh shit! Okay, so West Ham's done.
West Ham's done. Bring in the vibes though.
That's a bold move. Actually, I'm not gonna.
I know.
Does he even play anymore?
Yeah, he's still there.
Oh,
That whole suspension thing never happened. Not for him.
I thought it did.
No.
Why does he get to just?
Joe, if I could tell you, I would tell you, but I don't know.
Well, that's pretty stupid. I'm gonna go with what am I?
Just wait. This is what other center mid now.
Other center mid. I have to.
You can.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm gonna make it easy. Oh fuck, it's so tough though. Do I go with Brian, my king, because it's his birthday today? Pellegrini because he had a resurgence, or Bove because he's gorgeous?
Bove.
No, I'm gonna go with Pellegrini. You're right, because he's my captain.
Okay.
Carry us to the promised land, my king. Lorenzo Pellegrini is my center mid.
Okay, all right.
And mine only.
Then, I was gonna be nice and add Bove to the squad, but now I'm not gonna do that.
Damn. He's gonna put Parra because he played for Juve.
No, I don't want to. It's actually. Yeah, you know what? As my center mid, more of a defensive role, I'm gonna bring in Bove, because I was trying to think, and I don't care for any Roma players in the attack, so I'll use on the midfield.
Yeah, I was gonna say our attack
Roma's
is
done.
like, okay, we have Dybala, but then
that's really it. Roma's done now.
I'm gonna go left wing. Oh, I don't know. No, I'm gonna go right wing. Make it obvious. Why'd you go like that for left wing?
I don't know.
Were you thinking of a left winger?
No.
Are you sure?
Maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna go right wing then.
Go right wing.
Okay. Right wing, I'm gonna say Mohamed Salah. If you didn't understand what I just said there.
Little cocksucker, eh?
Roma legend.
Okay. Now I'll go left wing. I'll leave the striker to you.
I already know who my striker is.
Left wing, I'm gonna go with the man we spoke about earlier, Rafael Leao.
Shit. I was about to pause and say, why did you say a Milan player again? Why do I put Milan on a pedestal that they're not in Europa League? I don't know.
They're in Europa League, Joe. And we've only chosen one of them. So both reasons as to why I chose Rafael Leao, because I'm allowed to.
Okay.
Now choose the striker, Joseph, to finish off the team.
This is a no-brainer.
This Europa League team.
No-brainer. Mentioned him before. Said he's the best striker in Europe right now. Has to be Gianluca Scamacca from Atalanta. No, I'm kidding.
Fucking hell, Joe. I was going to say, man. What the hell?
No. Gyorkis.
I'm going to punch you in the fucking jejunum.
No, my striker is Gyorkis.
He's on who?
Sporting.
He's one of those like going off this season.
Decided to just say, hold my dick and fucking.
Yeah, we heard a lot about him. I personally, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know too much about him. I don't know if Joe did, but I know my neighbor Joe, the Portuguese. He's been on this episode before. He talked about him a lot and was going on about how good this guy's doing, and he's just putting on a fucking clinic this season, apparently. So
yeah,
hey, I would actually like to maybe catch a couple sporting games, see what the whole hype in this guy is.
No, he is a good player. But he's linked with Chelsea. Like all the top teams are interested in him right now because dude, I think he has 18 goals and then 8 assists or something like that. I have to pull it up. Sorry. Yeah, 18 goals, 8 assists this year in 22 matches. Like he's
currently valued at 60 mil.
Yeah, he's the real deal. And Sporting right now, don't get me wrong, I still think Sporting is a well-built team. Obviously, they have other pieces of the puzzle. St. Juice, Gonzalo Inacio, the guy they got from Genoa. I don't know how to say his name. HJL, whatever.
Yeah. Hoyland.
Yeah.
Hoyland, my brother.
Yeah, Sean Mills' dad. Even that guy Edwards that Chelsea's linked with too. Chelsea's linked with all the youngsters. But anyways. Yeah, no, Sporting's having a good season. This guy's one of the main reasons. Victor Gyorkis. Best striker in Europe right now. Screw you, Harry Kane.
Yeah, well, fuck you, Harry Kane. Just like Sean Mills, this episode is over now. Thank you guys for listening to our voices for this whole episode and us talk on about how bad referees are.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't listen to Joe from the beginning of the episode and haven't followed us yet and you got to this point, what the fuck are you doing? You can list us babble for about an hour, but you can't follow us on anything yet? Yeah. Guys, come on. Stop being lazy. Go follow us. UltraSexI. We'll see you next week. We'll hear you next week. Ciao.
See you later.